Think you know everything about animals? It's time to prove it. You've got 50 wild questions ahead. Keep track of your score, challenge your friends, hit subscribe, and let's see if you're a true animal expert. Which of these bears usually hibernates? Grizzly bear. Which one shoots a boiling liquid to defend itself? Bombardier beetle. Which one has dagger-like claws? Cassowary. Which one has an hourglass-shaped mark? Black widow. Which fierce predator is featured in this case? Leopard seal. Which one has sharp, venomous spines? Lionfish. Which one feeds on blood? Mosquito. Which one is famous for being completely fearless? Honey badger. Which one spends most of the day in the water? Hippopotamus. Which one can sting multiple times without dying? Wasp. Which one is known for howling in a pack? Wolf. Which one is extremely fast and venomous? Black mamba. Which is the largest big cat in the Americas? Jaguar. Which one holds the Guinness World Record for the most venomous spider? Brazilian wandering spider. Which wild canine howls in the desert? Coyote. Which one charges with great force? Which of these octopuses has a lethal venom? Blue-ringed octopus. Which is the heaviest snake in the world? Green anaconda. Which one has sharp tusks in its mouth? Wild boar. Which one can swim in freshwater rivers? Bull shark. Which one shakes its tail to warn of danger? Rattlesnake. Which one has a venomous stinger? Stingray. Which one hunts by firing a venomous harpoon? Cone snail? Which of these is a cartilaginous fish? Great white shark. Which one has the most painful sting? Bullet ant. Which marine predator is known as the killer whale? Orca. Which one can crush bones with its bite? Hyena. Which one has a violin-shaped mark? Brown recluse spider. Which one generates powerful electric discharges? Electric eel. Which one lives and hunts in packs? Lion. Which is the largest primate in the world? Gorilla. Which is a venomous carnivorous predator? Giant centipede. Which one has a bite capable of crushing bones? Alligator snapping turtle. Which is the largest land predator? Polar bear. Which of these scorpions is the most deadly? Deathstalker scorpion. Which one shares almost all of its DNA with us? Chimpanzee. Which is one of the few venomous lizards? Gila monster. Which is the largest lizard in the world? Komodo dragon. Which is the most venomous jellyfish? Box jellyfish. Which one has razor-sharp teeth? Piranha. Which one can reach record speeds in a steep dive? Peregrine falcon. Which is the most venomous fish in the world? Stonefish. Which one belongs to Africa's Big Five? Cape buffalo. Which one secretes a lethal toxin through its skin? Golden poison frog. Which one has a horn made of keratin? Rhinoceros. Which is the largest big cat in the world? Tiger. Which of these insects is larger? Giant hornet. Which one tolerates salt water better? Crocodile. Which is a bird of prey with deadly talons? Bald eagle. Which one secretes its own reddish sunscreen? Hippopotamus. Quiz finished.